Welcome to Discovering. I'm at a wildlife habitat project with the Menominee County Pheasant Club to watch as 50 pheasants take to the wild.
In this particular parcel out here, we bring 100 birds out here a year. We put out 50 ahead of season, and then we keep it stocked all season long.
And we're going hunting. Stick around, that's all tonight, right here on Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
When you think of pheasant hunting, states like Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, and Minnesota come to mind. More importantly, the UP doesn't. But the popularity of pheasant hunting here in the Upper Peninsula is on the rise, and groups like the Menominee County Pheasant Club, along with the DNR, are helping to make it happen. I caught up with some of the guys from the club, along with the DNR, at a habitat project in Menominee County.
All this habitat improvement and all the improvements and stuff is all through an annual banquet we have once a year. That's where all our funding comes from. We do several other stuff throughout the year, but our biggest thing is into this habitat and into the pheasants. And we were really happy to partner up with the DNR this year and take this to a whole nother level. We've been partnering here for the last 5 or 6 years. And this year there was been a little turnover at the DNR, and we got hooked up with Karen and Coulter. And it's been a real good working relationship. They came to the club meeting and we had discussed our interest in the land, and they discussed their interest in the land, and we all had kind of the same goals. And just to go to see when the clubs work with the DNR, what a nice project you can get in the end.
So we're standing at what we refer to as the Berg Farm. And this piece of the compartment was acquired in 1998 by the state, and it was approximately 168-acre parcel that they bought to adjoin some other state forest land. And so this compartment stands outside of a bigger part of the Escanaba State Forest contiguous properties just to the east of us. And so this is approximately 880 acres. The grassland opening is approximately 50 acres. And so last winter we reached out to Menominee County Pheasant Club and talked about some possible projects that we could do on this property, knowing their efforts in stocking it for pheasant hunting.
It's kind of a cool area. It's kind of a block of state land that kind of sits off by itself. Formerly used to be privately owned, and it's kind of a cool spot because the Menominee Pheasant Club here, they kind of do a put and take pheasant hunting on public land, so it's it's available to everybody. And this past summer, we did some little habitat improvements and just kind of trying to improve the recreational opportunity out here.
This is a grassland opening that benefits from prescribed fire. When we had first acquired the property, I know that was one of the initial management efforts, was to do a series of prescribed burns to stimulate the vegetation, the native vegetation. And so by having that green fire break in, makes it a little bit easier to do those prescribed burns, and it also provides good wildlife food source.
It's about 55 acres of opening out here, and we put a fire break around the whole thing so that we can more easily and efficiently burn it in the following years. It was planted to 3 types of clover and oats, and we did fertilize it and lime it too to help it along a little bit. And then a couple other things we did here while we were kind of doing that is we mowed some walking strips within these openings to just make it a little bit more hunter friendly to the people that come here to hunt the pheasants that are put out here. So I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised when they come here to kind of see the improvements that took place over the past few months.
Well, every year the Pheasant Club gets 800 roosters. The birds come in from Medford, Wisconsin with the truck and the trailer. We have holding pens, and we transfer them into our holding pens until the people can come pick them up. Obviously, we can't do 800 birds in a matter of a few minutes, so people come as they come. We get the birds to them and get them out into the county. It's a cost program where we share the cost with the club members that would want them. When the birds come in, we order the birds from Krug's Game Farm. We've been getting those birds for the last 10 or 12 years from them. They've been very good to us, and they actually help us out very much with pricing and giving us good deals.
Ready?
We have 250 members. We get a good disbursement of birds around the county. It's a put and take deal there where we just keep stocking and people keep taking them. In this particular parcel out here, we bring 100 birds out here a year. We put out 50 ahead of schedule or ahead of season, and then we put out 10 birds every few days or whenever, once a week. But we keep it stocked all season long. We've been out here, like I say, 10 years we've been working on this property, and I'd have to say that with the DNR's help this year, this is the best it's ever looked. We've struggled to get habitat planted with wet soils and get it mowed and stuff like that. And now with the help of the DNR and us helping fund their projects and them getting the work done, it seems to have been a real good relationship.
So with the Menominee County Pheasant Club, it's been a pretty public effort now. It's about 15 years we've been doing this, releasing birds and raising them, and now we do fall flyers where anybody can just call and order birds. We get them here fully grown. You don't have to raise them. They show up and you release. And obviously we like to hunt some for the dogs. It's the reason we got into it to begin with, but over 800 get released in 2 weeks in the area, and maybe 20 or 30 of those might get shot for training purposes.
This is ringneck pheasants. That's what is put out here, but there's also, when I've been out here, I've seen deer, I've seen turkeys, I've seen a host of predators out here as well. I know that there was guys bear baiting close to here. I've seen grouse out here. So there's kind of a host of everything here, and obviously, the focus here is just kind of for that recreational opportunity for ringneck pheasant. We also improved the parking area, improved the gravel surface area, leveled it out a little bit, and put a barrier on it so we can kind of hopefully get people in here, get them all parking in the same spot, and keep any sort of habitat degradation down at all. Just get them all parking in the same spot so everybody has a good experience.
So this property here, this is kind of our bread and butter of a way to give back to the hunting community. We give back through scholarships, several youth programs in town, and not to mention all the other clubs that we also work with. When they do a banquet, we donate back. We help new up-and-coming clubs. But this is our way to really give back for the hunting community, and this is not restricted to members. We've been working this property for probably 10 plus years, but now we're finally getting in, we're working with the DNR closer, and we're just untapping the potential finally of what can be here, and there's so much land that's available. So what you're seeing today is we're releasing all roosters. We have 50 we released today, and we have 62 more, I believe, that we're going to release throughout the season, so everybody has an opportunity, and we'll also save some for when the season's over. So those are the ones, don't feel bad, come out, work your dogs, bring a friend, go out hunting, have fun with them, they're meant for that. And then we also do release hens. We have our spring chick program where the spring, it's a mixed run of hens and roosters, so we're not just releasing only roosters into these areas. So the hens, they get their opportunities there. And then we also do a hen only run where midsummer we get only hens and release them all over the county to try to match up with these roosters. And it is amazing how you'll be driving down the road, you'll see 3-4 hens grouped together here and there. So that helps you feel that they're sticking around, they're finding their roosters, and you are seeing some young wild chicks as a result of it. So the more birds we're getting out, the more we're seeing. The public is definitely noticing it, and it makes you feel good about what everything's going on down here, because it's a pheasant club in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, so it's not something you would expect to really thrive, but it's been a really good effort, and we're proud of what's going on, and it's a lot of fun, and we invite you guys to join it.
In the Upper Peninsula, the season to hunt pheasants runs from October 10th through the 31st. The area open to pheasant hunting includes all of Menominee County and portions of Delta, Dickinson, Iron, and Marquette counties. Be sure to check the DNR website at mi.gov/DNR laws for a complete detailed definition of the unit boundaries.
We're fortunate enough to have the deer hunting this time of year, and got the goose hunting, and then all the fishing. We also get the pheasant hunt in the southern UP.
Good girls. Come on, girl. Yeah, this is a second food plot we were in. We were in the neighbor's food plot earlier. You got rye and turnips in that one. That's where we got that first bird. Now we're in this second food plot, and this is clover. And you can see where we had got some fresh cuttings in here. We're trying to maintain this to kind of give a nice cover for the birds, so they got food and they got cover. Go ahead, Trey. Nice shot. Bird down. Find the bird. You got her, Bill?
Oh, there's water. I shot when it was already falling, so I don't try to hit that one.
Good job.
I pull the trigger and I look and it's way below my barrel already.
Come here, girl. Sit, sit. Hey, good girl.
Good job.
Well, the dogs are on a perfect world. I mean, they're staying, 20, 30 yards ahead of you, and they're working that scent trail. Come on. Oh, there's one more. Whenever you can, you work them into the wind, brings everything towards them. Dew is good. Heavy air is good, like cloudy, rainy days are good. Mika, Kara, come. If you're lucky and the birds hold, well, then you walk in like the shot we just had where the bird's holding tight. If you're not lucky, it's like the last bird we just ran, where it ran probably close to 100, 125 yards. Well, the dogs had to work it until they actually got it to go. So they're good dogs. Their job is to hold that bird till we get in shooting range, to catch up to it and hold it down. And sometimes they flush, sometimes they hold. It's a wild animal, you know. That's the way it is. There it goes. Get up there, Dave. Get up there, Dave. There you go. Bird down! Hold the bird.
You want to shoot now?
Oh.
Being able to pheasant hunt in the UP is great. I've been out west myself. I know my dad's made several trips as well. And it's really fun to go out there, but you're still only allowed 3 birds. And to make that trip, not everyone has a week off to go take a trip out to South Dakota or Iowa or Kansas. But you can come down to the Menominee County area here and you have just as good of opportunity with some public land that the Pheasant Club is welcome to anybody in the public. You don't need to be a member.
Okay, find the bird. Find the bird.
Today we hunted private property, but there's birds all over here. You'll see them on the roads, and it's a great opportunity if you have a dog just to run them. It's a 21-day season only from the October 10th to the 31st, so we try to take advantage of it when we can.
Okay, find it. Good girl, find it.
So most people, when they think pheasant hunting, they're going to think the grassy plains like you typically would think of Kansas or the Dakotas. But up here, you'll see a lot of pheasants that we release. We'll see them tuck right in where the grouse live.
Whoa, no bird! Mika, no bird!
So if you have a camp anywhere in the UP, I mean, we obviously target southern Menominee County itself and Delta and some Dickinson as well. But if you have grouse in your area, then pheasant typically will have a fighting chance as well to live there. It's a lot of the same food, a lot of the same habitat. They'll tuck right in the cedar swamps. They'll go up on the ridges. Today we had hunted some ridges and we were putting birds up, which also makes for a little bit more of a technical shot than shooting out over a grassy plain with 5 guns. You might get one guy that gets an opportunity, so always makes for a fun hunt.
I think that's the one your sister just got, girl. I think you're on the one your sister just got. Come on, come, Mika, Kaya, come. Both dogs picked up from Chris Stancher up in Calumet. Very nice guy, real good with the dogs. He gets all the credit for breaking the dogs in and training them. I just kind of picked him up from him and hunted him. He had them in the city, and obviously the dogs aren't city dogs, so we got to talking and decided this would be a good home for them out here in the country. And they're pretty much country dogs and farm dogs, except for the couple weeks of hunting season, and they get to do their thing. I was letting it get far away.
So raising pheasants is a great way to get started, and we do have the youth program, so kids can start, but any adults can do it as well. And to get started, it's really no different than raising a chicken. You have your coop. Unfortunately, they don't habitate together very well because with the cross species, they can spread diseases together, but nothing that's harmful to people. But it's just harder on their health. But it's the same as what you do with a chicken. You go out and give them water, give them some food. The club actually supplies food to the youth program. So it's just a matter of show us that you have a pen that's acceptable, and it's like I say, it's just some chicken wire and some 2x4s and something to get them out of the wind and the weather. So it doesn't take much to get started. And then those chicks, usually a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks, and you can start releasing some of them. And then a lot of people like to raise them 10 to 12 and have them ready for fall so they can release them a little bit later in the year as well when they have some more color.
Didn't let it get far enough away, did I?
We have a lot of other programs with that too. That's not just releasing birds and going and hunting them, but we do food plot management, coincidentally enough, what deer like, the pheasant also like. So we do a lot of seed handouts early in the year. That's a great program where you get your fertilizer, your seed, everything, and it's a little bit of know-how from past members to know how to plant it and where. And then we do the hen releases as well earlier in the year, not to mention the youth program with all the chicks that we've talked about in the past.
Every year, usually it's the first Monday in June, the club buys 3,000 chicks, which now they're actually donated from Krug's Game Farm out in Medford, Wisconsin. We give 25 chicks per kid and 25 pounds of feed. And all we do as a club is we ask that the kids release the birds once they raise to at least 6 weeks of age. Every year we have all 3,000 birds are gone, chicks are gone, so it's a good project. Love doing it. Kids' faces light up all the time when you see those birds. Also in July, usually it's the first Saturday in July, we have a kids banquet, outdoor banquet. We have different games for the kids to do. We have paintball guns set up, we have a dunk tank, and just different events for the kids to do. It's all free. All that money comes for our annual banquet that we have in April. And the kids have 2 hours to play, run around, do whatever they want. We have set up there for them. Each kid leaves with a door prize, and then also we have grand prizes, which usually a nice kayak and then a few pellet guns, besides other things that we give out.
One of the things we're real proud of is that we work with the veterans as much as we can. At our banquet, we have probably 200 members in attendance of just banquet attendees. Every veteran in the building raises their hand and we give them a ticket to a free shoot in the summer. We bring them out with the Woods and Stream Club out on 577 in Menominee County. And they host it right out of there. They use all their facilities. It's one of the best trap ranges you'll ever find. And we let all the veterans shoot for free. We host a raffle out there. We donate a gun to them. So that's always nice to see that we're able to give back in any way we can. So this property here is kind of our way to give back to the hunting community. Finding it can be a little trickier. It's easier that once you've been here once, but it's exactly 6 miles off of Highway 41 east on County Road 360 in Daggett, Michigan. We call it the H2 property because the sign coming in is H2, but actually if you look at your Google Maps, it's going to be G4, so don't get fooled and turned around because once you get here, you're going to be happy you found it.
Well, that's it for this week. Be sure to check out 906outdoors.com where you'll find the 906 fishing report, TV6 weather, shopping, and more.
Oh, gal.
Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.